Hi, welcome to Losing Weight with Elizabeth. I'm Elizabeth. We had a great meeting last week when we were talking about mindless eating, and it brought up a really good subject about body image. And I just will tell this one quick story. I lost 93 pounds, but when I had lost 60 pounds, I went to, I was standing in front of a sign and I was wearing all pink, and I thought I was thin as a rail. So I had such positive body image. And I can't say to this day now that I ever would, that I feel like that, like I did that day. I felt so thin. And so today I've brought a couple of friends together to talk about body image, Erin and Barbara. Erin, since you brought that subject up last week, I'd really like to hear more about it.
Well, I talked about breaking up with food because I guess what happens at some point, there has to be some point where, food becomes a comfort and then almost more like an abusive boyfriend.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm breaking up with you and I'm embracing my booty image, which booty image is different than body image. Booty image is what you say to the negative comments that are in your head, or that, a stigma attached with being overweight that other people place on you, almost like a body shame. And the booty image is what the rear view they see when you walk away.
Oh.
But so I've tried to embrace my body image because I've decided that I'm not going to love myself anyway, thin, fat, in between, whatever, if I don't embrace myself.
Yes, I believe that's absolutely the truth.
Yeah, so that's kind of...
And if you don't embrace yourself, then you're not being positive about your journey for weight loss. And if you're not positive because you're not embracing yourself, how are you going to stick to, the fact that food is not our comfort?
Because you got that negative voice in you saying, and not even weight loss, let's just talk about a healthy lifestyle. That's the better, that's that, because
right.
Once that becomes apparent,
right.
That's the thing that really needs to happen. So, well, Barbara, how much weight have you lost?
Initially, I lost 130 pounds, but I had the gastric bypass, which absolutely was not the fix. Erin, I don't know if you know my journey, but I had the gastric bypass in the year 2002, and, little by little, I started to incrementally, is that the right word? Go up in increments, up the scale, until all of a sudden I started to realize I am gaining weight, because I thought it was a fix, that I didn't have to diet at all, that I didn't have
magic.
It was magic. I didn't have to diet. I didn't have to learn any tricks of the trade. I didn't have to shop correctly, or anything, because I had a small stomach, and then I lost, through the years realized I don't have a small stomach anymore, and everybody's noticing it. I'm going out to dinner with friends and saying, geez, I remember when you first had, the operation, you were barely eating, and now you've eaten your whole plate and looking for more food.
And I was saying, just really honestly, why is anyone looking at your plate?
Honestly, why? Because society does it, quite, a thing on us. They value people who are thin for some reason. I don't know. It's like as if when I was heavy, they were saying, didn't you gain weight? As if I didn't exist, and so, of course, but about body image, I wanted to say one thing.
Go ahead.
Years ago, I was in a play, and I was at my all-time highest. It was my highest weight, and I was in a play, and my sister was directing it. It was a murder mystery, and she casted me as the sexy woman in the room who had to turn, the guys, attention towards me. And I kept on saying, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm heavy. You know what I mean? And my sister wouldn't let me out of it. You're going to be the one in the room who takes a boa around the guy's neck and, you know what I mean, and distract everybody during, the first course. And I was saying, I can't do that, until I finally got in my head, and I had to get there using thought block, really, which was, you're sexy. You're sexy, you're voluptuous, you're sexy, you could do this.
You're sexy and you know it.
You're sexy and you know it. And I was able to you could have guys who were showing me a lot of attention because it was in my mind.
Confidence.
It's confidence.
And that's
Yeah.
sexy, and that's attractive, and that's, you know, I
Exactly.
think
Right.
that you have to, I think that Hollywood is changing in the way, like, you look at Melissa McCarthy and Rebel Wilson.
Right.
And a lot of people find them not only hysterically funny, but sexy.
Yes.
And, you know, there was an actress on Reba not too long ago, Melissa Peterman, and she played,
Oh, I
like,
love her.
she was the mistress, but yet she was heavier.
Yeah.
And, you know, and she was the designated funny fat chick. And then when she lost some weight, people were like, well, she's not as funny anymore. Yes, she is just as funny, thin as she is heavy.
Right.
Weight, you know, and value, like you were saying, sometimes people put that. But I think that body image is changing, and people are embracing people more of all shapes and sizes, because that's how we're all made.
I
you
love
know?
Melissa McCarthy so much from This Is 40 and everything else, but I've got to say that somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm like, I hope she lives longer. This has got to be so unhealthy. I think, God, you know, I love her, I embrace her who she is, but I'm thinking, you know what I mean? How much longer are we going to have her if she keeps gaining weight? I want her to live forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what's it's really about, being healthy.
And we don't know what she does. I mean, she might eat really healthy, but you know,
Right.
then there's a portion control issue. We don't know about her. But I think you're right. I think there's more of that going on than them being just the best friend. You know,
Exactly.
the sidekick. They're more
Exactly.
likely they're going to be the star of the show.
Right.
So
Exactly.
at least that's happening. But for as far as the healthy lifestyle, well, we know that's it. But in the meantime, on that road, wouldn't it be nice if we didn't beat ourselves up every day?
Right, wouldn't it be nice? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just have to practice at it.
And that's it. And now, how do you get that out of your head?
It's a daily struggle, just like trying not to eat all the saltines in the
Sleeve.
pouch, you know, in the sleeve. It's everything. It is a daily struggle, but and there are days I look at myself and I'm like, I'm a hideous beast, and then the other days, you know, I'm like, wow, you know, I got to stop doing that to myself. But I think that what happens is that there is a shame that somebody passed on to you that made you have issues in the first place. It's their shame. You need to, like, throw that out. Throw it in the trash, because it doesn't belong to you, you know?
Right.
And then you're going to pass that on to somebody else, because of something that was in your head.
That was planted in your head.
Exactly, but it was planted in there. It's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to just look at yourself and say, this is where I'm at now. I'm going to embrace this, and I'm going to do my best to be healthy. You know, like we said, we don't know what other people eat or don't eat, but
Yeah, I shouldn't have made-
you have to hope that they're you know, living a healthy lifestyle, but they're beautiful and they're embracing themselves, and who knows what tomorrow's going to bring. You know, you have to live life to the fullest wherever you're at.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, and that in your head. You know, I think in your head is the most important part.
You got to get out of your head. It's like a tape. It's like a tape recorder that.
It's on a loop.
I keep saying, get the tapes out of your head. Put a CD in. It should be brand new.
Go to
You know,
that.
brand new CD.
Yeah, brand new CD.
Or an iPod. You know.
It is.
Remix on your iPod.
It is really such a hard thing, though, to expect of anyone to, like, Barbara, before you lost weight, you know, all those years ago, how was your body image then?
Horrible. My body image then was horrible. Yeah, it brought me to this decision to have a gastric bypass, which was a critical decision, and it was I was kind of one of the first. It was so many years ago. I mean, I actually put my life at stake when I had two small daughters at home. I mean, they were babies, and I was thinking, not so much. Yeah, it was my body image, but it really was so that I could live for them. And someone saying, "Do you realize this procedure could kill you? I mean, why don't you just go on a diet?" And I was going, a diet? When I could have this quick magic fix? Which wasn't. It brought me right to losing weight with Elizabeth. I can't tell you how many times I quote her.
That's the really sad part about gastric bypass, is that you actually think that is going to be a magic fix. And unfortunately with that, it just simply is not.
Right.
Because I know so many people that if it was, well, I think we would all be getting it, because, you know, they'd be all right. But the side effects are so unbelievable.
Right.
And that you would go to such extremes, or anyone would go to such extremes to get thin rather than, get healthy.
Yeah.
That was really what it was. You wanted to get thin. And I'm curious, when you did get thin, and you did, what was the change in your head? Was it a change?
No, it
No,
wasn't a change.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, for the first time, and it took me by surprise, my daughters had taken a video of me in my living room, and I was doing some yoga positions. I love yoga. And I was doing yoga positions. And all of a sudden, I was looking back at the video, and I actually said for the first time, my body looks great, that video. And I said, I can't believe those words came out of my mouth.
You didn't even know who it was on the video.
I don't even know who she was.
Yeah, right.
You got to get
Who is
back
that?
there. You got to think
Yeah.
about that day.
That's
you
what I
know?
say. We got to keep practicing to have that, better
It's
image.
a daily struggle. It's a day. Everything. You have to just. There are days when I don't. People will refer to me as Zoftig. I wrote this article and I said I refer to myself as Chubbylicious because it's more positive.
Yeah.
I know I'm a little overweight, but I try to do my best to be healthy, and I struggle. You struggle with the battle of the bulge. You're trying to get some pounds off, and you struggle. And you have sometimes, you have food addiction, and you're trying to say, okay, I'm going to do better. Every day's a new day. But I think that you can't obsess. It's an obsession. You have to knock it away.
Knock it
Yeah,
out.
and I think that could be a minute-to-minute struggle. I don't think that necessarily is just, it can't be pushed away. It's almost an impossibility, but it can be worked on.
Yeah.
You have to work on that.
Back to the gastric bypass, Carney Wilson has had, gastric bypass, and I think that she believed that it was a quick fix as well.
Yeah.
But she has said things along the lines of, she was the same person and her mindset was the same,
Right.
than when she had the surgery. Like, she thought it was going to be a quick fix, and then slowly she had gained more weight again. But it, ultimately did save her life, which is,
Yeah, right.
But she seemed to always have like a positive outlook on herself too, which is good. But I think that her struggles were always still in the back of her mind. So there's really no quick fix. You just have to try to stay positive and try to just make healthy choices and just love yourself.
Yes, because if there was a quick fix, who do we always say would tell us? Oprah. Oprah would be a size 4 or something.
Well, she's been a size 4, I'm sure.
Yes, she has.
She's struggled as well.
Roller coaster.
But I think that it's like someone comes out with a plate of body dysmorphia and just hands it out to everybody. It's like, where does this come from? Where does this start?
Yes.
I have one friend who doesn't, and I have some male friends too, but mostly women all have issues with their bodies. I mean, they're skinny, heavy, whatever. And I think that people are like, well, why are they, I'm heavy and they're talking to me about being, heavy or whatever. It's their issue because a lot of people have it. My weight, I can't look at someone thin and say, well, they have no right to feel the way they feel because, I'm heavier. I have to say, who did what to them that made them have this in their head that they can't embrace themselves?
Oh, I'm really stunned by that. You can't even say, you look thinner today or you look great today, that somebody won't say, oh no, I'm hideous. And you're
And
like
we
going,
just try, thank you.
yeah, just try, thank you.
I never say thank you. Someone says to me, you look great. This past summer, I went down the beach. Oh, that's an expression from our family, down the beach.
Yeah.
I was at Milford Beach. And I was in a bikini. And I was in a bikini not because I felt confident in my bikini, and I was with a couple of girlfriends. It was because I kept on saying I wanted my scars from my gastric bypass to get tanned, because then they wouldn't be so horrible. And so the first thing I say when I see my girlfriends and I unrobe, I say, I just want to let you know that I don't think I have a good body right now. That's not why I'm in this bikini.
But
And they say to me,
putting yourself
well,
down.
what's wrong with your body? You look great. And I went, I do? Oh, stop it. Can't you see the hanging skin? Can't you see?
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
you point out every little detail. What,
Yeah.
you didn't notice this?
Yeah.
I have a friend who says to me, she's got hair down to here, luxurious brown curly hair. She has peaches and cream skin. She's beautiful, breathtakingly beautiful. And she says, I have to go to the dermatologist. And I said, why? Why do you have to do that? You know, thinking there must be something. Yeah. And she says, see this right here? Honest to God, I could not see anything right there. It was smaller than a pinhead. I had to get out like those reading glasses that I used to wear, and I looked up at it. I was like, "Oh my God, Sad! I'm so sorry that you would feel so bad with your, as she's flowing over me, with her beautiful figure and her beautiful face and her beautiful hair, but this one little thing has ruined her day, and until she gets it taken care of." She's hideous.
Can't be happy.
She's, who is that? The, Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Well, it's all kind of individualized. It's like what our body image should be for ourselves. Now, I have a sister who's absolutely stunning and a brother who is extremely handsome, just saying. And
no prejudice there.
No prejudice. And my sister will say to me, who has a perfect body, will say to me she has to lose weight immediately. And I will say, please, how insulting that you're even saying that in front of me. Like as if I'm, dog meat. And she'll say to me, she said something, she said, everybody has their own little personal agenda with what they want to be. You know what I mean? And I had to take that as good criticism. And I said, yeah. So now when she says she has to lose weight, I go, oh, well, there's some things that I've learned, you know what I mean? And I share them along,
Well,
did you see? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, did you see? There's a Dove commercial where there's a sketch artist, and they had people like meet in the lobby, and then they went in and they described themselves to a sketch artist, and then the other person described them to a sketch artist, and they put the pictures side by side, and the difference of what people see themselves as opposed to how someone else sees them. It was amazing.
The way you present yourself.
Really?
And there comes back to the confidence. Mm-hmm. That's the best part about that whole thing.
The pictures that people, the way they saw themselves, it was like so sad compared to what other people saw, the beauty they saw in these complete strangers. It's just like, why can't we see that in ourselves when we look in the mirror? What is it? Oh my gosh, I have this 11 here, and I'm like,
and it's all you can see. I had this one.
And you're fine with the little dermatologist.
But you know what? I could, as much as I wanted to be like, oh, don't say that. I had a little red mark right here. And honestly, when I would put my makeup on, every single time I would look at that like as if it was on. It might as well have been like this big. That's how it is. But you know what, Barbara? This is the thing I've learned about people who actually lose weight and keep it off. And this comes to your sister and the 5 pounds. When I used to hear people say, so I'd never negate them anymore. When I used to hear people say, I have 5 pounds to lose, I really wanted to kill them. Because here I was 90 pounds heavier.
Right.
And I was like, you have to lose 5 pounds. I mean, honest to God, I could do that overnight. This is what I'm thinking to myself, right?
Yeah.
And of course you always say, no, you don't really have to, or, whatever. But because, you don't want to, agree with the person. But I'm trying to think of where was I going with that. Oh, but now, when someone tells me they have 5 pounds to lose, I totally understand it. I never understood it before I was able to keep that weight off.
Right.
But now, when somebody says I have 5 pounds to lose, I'm like, yeah, because that goes to 10, that goes to 15, that goes to 20. But it shouldn't affect how you feel outwardly. Because that inner voice is so cruel.
Yes, and you can't stay on a diet if you're going to be Debbie Downer.
Yeah, and
diets work, but you have, it's all about really embracing a healthy lifestyle and not obsessing over a diet because, like you say, editing.
Yes.
You know, I think that's your key, because I think diets work, but then you obsess over it. And it's not, I don't think it's an attractive quality to constantly be telling people what you ate all day long. Like, okay, well, let's talk about something else, because
Right, I know.
you're skinny, you're beautiful, okay. Or you are what you are, okay. But what else do we have to talk about? Because there's so much more to the world than just what you're going to eat tomorrow, or what, you know, like, I think that
Yeah,
there's such
you're
a
interesting.
focus on this.
I'm just tomorrow night they're having a play that's adapted from my book, and it's going to be in Hartford.
Yeah,
there
we're
we go.
so proud.
I'm
We're
very
so proud.
excited, and I think that that actually addresses that a little bit. You know, that we're just so obsessed with that. My life, I think, should be 80-20. 80% is really good, and 20% is it's the poison. There is going to be poison in my food. Like, I will make Greek yogurt with cinnamon and vanilla, delicious, and then I'll throw the poison in of the Splenda. But I've got the startup. You know what I
Right.
mean? I've got the startup of that. But I think that that's the thing that people have to start to think about.
Well, I mean, not to get off topic, but a lot of foods nowadays have like so much chemicals in them, that's why I've become addicted to them. But I think the thing about, you know, telling someone, it's like there's a holding somebody accountable, or having your friends hold you accountable if you're really trying to lose like that extra 5 pounds. But then there is going overboard with telling everybody what you ate today so that you can have that bowl of ice cream. It doesn't affect
Justifying
me. It doesn't affect me if you eat that bowl of ice cream. It affects me if I eat that bowl of ice cream.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to justify what you're eating to me. I'm not going to judge you because of that. And that's what, like, people judging, you said people were judging your plate of food at some point. You know, they were
Boy,
You
you ate your whole plate.
Yeah.
I thought you had the surgery. How many times have I heard that?
I had a
we were
lady-
talking about that earlier, right?
Yeah.
I had a lady say to me, why are you using that little plate for the dinner
Yeah.
when you're going to have all those cookies later? I'm really thinking to myself, shouldn't you be looking at your plate?
Yeah, keep your own personal agenda.
Yeah, keep your own.
And maybe people think that they're helping, or I don't exactly know where this comes from, but I don't think that we have the right to go around judging everybody else. And like we were saying about the worth or the value, my value is not based on my weight, and I am sick of people putting that on my shoulders, because it messes with me, and then I get depressed, and then I eat more, and then I gain 5 pounds, and I'm like, why? This was not tough love. This is not something that was helping me. This is actually hurting me and hurting my soul. I mean, you know what I mean?
I think tough love and weight loss is ridiculous.
they butt heads. They don't go together.
They do
They're
not
the
go-
abuse. They're the ever abusive boyfriends.
Yeah, you've
Get them out of there.
All right, well, listen, you guys, I really, really, really want to thank you so much, as we mess up everything,
Yes.
for coming tonight. And I hope that you will, the next time somebody says something nice to you, I hope you'll say thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
embrace
you.
your booty image and walk away if it's negative.
And
Walk
have
away if it's negative.
And have confidence.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
All right. Want to look like you lost 10 pounds in 5 seconds?
I sure do.
Well, stand up straight and hold your stomach in. Here's a way I think we could get that healthy habit started. Every time you get to a red light, hold your stomach in. It makes you aware, so you might do it other times. So remember, every time you get to a red light, hold your stomach in. It might just be the start of a healthy new habit. Want to lose 10 pounds in 5 seconds?
I sure do.
Well, that's not going to work. That's very funny. But we can't. We have to stop. We stopped it.